be seated. Welcome to the 40th commencement of Ramapo College. It is my honor as president of the college to open these commencement exercises of May 21st, 1998. At this time, I would like to introduce Ms. Deetra Tyler, class of 1998, who will sing the national anthem, accompanied by Professor Mac Brandon and the Ramapo MIDI Ensemble. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please remain standing. Thank you, Deetra. Thank you, Professor Brandon and the Ramapo MIDI Ensemble. I would now like to ask the Reverend Gregory Jackson, Senior Pastor of the Mount Olive Baptist Church, to please come forward and give the invocation. Reverend Jackson.
Oh God, as we gather on this occasion at the dawn of a new century, we do so with great expectations. We come here today looking back in thanksgiving for what we have received, and not only for what we have received from our professors and from our various scholars, but we come giving thanks for what we have received from each other. And we come also looking ahead for what we are prepared to give to the world. We recognize that although we have much information to share, that the greatest thing that we have to share is ourselves. So today we celebrate both the end to our academic tenure at Ramapo College, but also our beginnings as we share our service with the world. We come to this moment not in fear of the past, but with confidence in the future. We come to this moment receiving what we have been handed by our parents. We come today recognizing that our world is by no means perfect, but we come determined to take our place as young men and women on the world stage, determined to make a difference. As citizens of the 21st century, we realize that the world is our village, and that we are all tied together in one single garment of human destiny. We now know what the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tried to teach us during another time. We must live together as brothers and sisters, or perish together as fools. So, dear God, we thank you for this time of affirmation. We thank you for those who have believed in us when we did not believe in ourselves. We thank you for this time in our lives when we can truly celebrate our achievements. We thank you for all those who stand here with us today. For those who are unsure of the future, give them hope. For those who are weak in their faith, give them strength. For those who think that the world will only be changed by knowledge, help them to see that knowledge must be linked with courage. For those who are still under the illusion that the world must be ruled by one race or one sex over another, help them to see that united we stand and divided we fall. We thank you for these blessings. In the name of our God, amen.
Reverend Jackson, as a token of our appreciation for your participation, we have a gift for you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. It now gives me a great pleasure to introduce our platform and special guests. Please hold your applause until all the guests have been introduced. Seated on the dais, Professor Mac Brandon. Please just stand and acknowledge the introduction and hold the applause until all have been introduced. Dietrich Tyler, who's the class of 1998. Bruce Spellman, Ramapo College trustee. Jeffrey Meyer, President, Ramapo College Student Government Association. Mark Linsky, student speaker, representing the 1998 graduating class. Daniel Furphy, class of 1992, representing the Ramapo College Alumni Association. Emily Costrin-Mann, Ramapo College trustee. Dr. Pamela Bischoff, Vice President for Student Affairs. Geraldine Reed Brown, Secretary, Ramapo College Board of Trustees. Lois Rand, Ramapo College trustee. Arthur Ramirez, Ramapo College trustee. Mark Grannon, Chair, Board of Governors, Ramapo College Foundation. W. Peter McBride, Ramapo College trustee. Robert P. Corman, immediate past chair, Board of Trustees. Roger Gray, alumnus, class of 1976, and the recipient of this year's President's Award of Merit. George Siegel, sculptor and honorary degree recipient. David A. Ross, director, Whitney Museum of American Art, and our commencement speaker. Thomas Dunn, chair, Ramapo College Board of Trustees. Russ Berry, founder, chairman, and CEO of Russ Berry and Company, and honorary degree recipient. Angelica Berry, director of Paper Goods, Russ Berry and Company, and honorary degree recipient. The Reverend Gregory Jackson, and Dr. Sharon Rubin, the vice president for academic affairs. Also, Elaine Adler, member of the Board of Governors. Andrew Kaslow, member of the Board of Governors. Joan Daniels, member of the Alumni Board and the alumni representative to the Board of Governors. Jane Chenoweth, the chair of the Friends of Ramapo, and Mayor Richard Martell, the mayor of Mahwah. And also the alumni representing the class of 1973, the 25th anniversary of their graduation. Would you all please rise? And now let's give a big round of applause to these platform and special guests. I would like to give a special thanks and appreciation to the Ramapo College faculty and staff for their vital contributions to your education, to your preparation for this memorable day, and to making Ramapo College what it is. Would the faculty and staff please rise and accept our applause? It is also appropriate to applaud those parents, family, and friends who helped you get to this day. Would the graduates please rise, turn around, and give a great big round of applause? Thank you. Today is dedicated to our graduates. It is also dedicated to the arts. In ancient times, the learned divided the arts into three families: the fine arts for beauty, the liberal arts for useful knowledge, and the arts of conduct or behavior for goodness. Today, we celebrate all three: the fine arts, the liberating education that we attempt to provide, and good works to society. William Faulkner once said, "The aim of every artist is to arrest motion, which is life, by artificial means and hold it fixed so that 100 years later, when a stranger looks at it, it moves again, because it is life." At Ramapo, we want every student to be an artist, able to see shades, interpret meaning, understand context, and tell stories that communicate depth. The Angelica and Russ Berry Center for Performing and Visual Arts, to be opened in December, will be a major step forward in helping us accomplish this mission. Please give a grand round of applause to those we honor today for their contributions to the arts: David Ross, Angelica and Russ Berry, George Siegel, and Roger Gray. Our graduates today number 826. Whoever is last in line will become the 14,963rd graduate of Ramapo College. 198 of you decided to add to a major by also having a minor. 89 of you will be graduating with Latin honors. You represent 18 nations of origin, including Argentina, Azerbaijan, Bosnia, Canada, China, Croatia, Cyprus, India, Japan, Kenya, Pakistan, Russia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Yugoslavia, and the United States. We have several members of the staff also graduating with you, and that gives us great pleasure. We have a sad note today. One of you, Margaret Doherty, who is receiving her bachelor's degree in nursing, cannot be with us because she is battling a very serious illness. So the director and faculty of the nursing program will be delivering her diploma to her later today. On a happier note, this is the 25th anniversary of the first graduation in 1973. And I invite all of you back for the 50th anniversary. And now I would like to introduce Tom Dunn, the chair of the Board of Trustees, who will make a few remarks. Mr. Dunn?
Thank you. From the Ramapo College Board of Trustees to the Ramapo class of 1998. Whether you ultimately live in Chicago or New York, New York, or simply enjoy moonlight in Vermont, when day is done, we hope that Ramapo will have enabled you to say, "I did it my way." Congratulations.
I now have the pleasure of presenting the Ramapo College President's Award of Merit to Roger Gray, class of 1976, owner of Centerline Studios. Mr. Gray, would you please come forward? Roger Gray, from your early start at Ramapo College, You have grown into an award-winning set designer. In just 12 years, you and your wife, Shelley, also a Ramapo graduate, have built Centerline Studios into a major contributor to the aesthetics of theater and opera. When one reads the list of productions for which you have served as prime contractor or subcontractor, one reads a who's who of dramatic productions. The names include The Gin Game, Moon Over Buffalo, Bus Stop, Night of the Iguana, Inherit the Wind, Hamlet, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Jekyll and Hyde, Cape Man, Sound of Music, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Starlight Express, Phantom of the Opera, Miss Saigon, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Madame Butterfly, and many, many more. When one adds off-Broadway to Broadway and touring productions to both, one reads scores of major productions. In response to the quality of your work, you have received international awards as well as the invitation to provide permanent installations. These include Archer Ashe Kids Day at USTA, the PGA Tour, the Woolman Rink, Avery Fisher Hall, the Mirage Hotel, and many more. You have constructed the scenery for the last 38 productions of the New York City Opera and were featured on the PBS program entitled Backstage at Lincoln Center together with Maurice Sendak. Like a sculptor, you work in many media, including wood, iron, and specialty steel. You construct everything from railings to automobiles and giant puppets, bring words to life so that we in the audience can experience theater visually as well as verbally. Roger Gray, you bring great credit to your alma mater, and we take pride in your success, even as we hope that we have contributed to it. For these reasons, I am privileged to present to you the 1998 President's Award of Merit upon this graduation day, May 21st, 1998. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. This is indeed very flattering and quite an honor, and rather unique for someone who spends most of his time backstage to find himself center stage. One of the most frequently asked questions, someone will come to the shop and say, well, how did you get started in this business? Where do you learn technical theater and building scenery? Well, it kind of happened like this. When I first came to Ramapo 25 years ago, we decided to try a little bit of every school. So I took classes in just about every curriculum available at the time. So I've had experience in each of the schools, had business classes, science classes, religion, tried out all the different curriculum. And in one of the classes I found myself in was an acting class. About the third class, I was struggling through a scene from a Neil Simon play. A fellow walked in I hadn't recognized before, and he sort of sized up the class, and he looked back at three of us, all a little on the tall side, and he looked back and said, you three guys in the back, you're too tall to be actors, and I think you all look like you're kind of used to eating well, so come on with me, I'm going to teach you the business of theater. And for the rest of my tenure at Ramapo, we became the beginning of a technical theater staff that was somewhat unique because there wasn't a theater. So we learned how to build a theater. We started from the ground up, took the lighting dimmers out of the boxes, bolted them together, had to weld the rack together. And from that, we learned every aspect of the production. Not unlike I had learned from the other classes here at Ramapo, business, science, and religion, that you learn every aspect of the world that you're going to go into. So I'm very pleased to be here, proud to be here, and I hope that I serve as an example that you can make a living in the arts. Now I know there's a lot of other classes here, but I'm going to direct this to the School of Contemporary Arts. I know just about every one of you has had to come to grips with someone asking you just what do you think you're going to do? Or more often it's, well, that's a good thing to fall back on, but shouldn't you be a lawyer? Well, you don't have to fall back on the arts. You can go forward in the arts. There, come on up. We got so. And the final thing I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Ramapo College for is that it was at Ramapo College that Shelley and I fell in love. We got married during her graduation, so this is my second chance to wear a cap and gown, and she still hasn't had one. She had a white gown on her graduation. So today being our anniversary, I'd like to thank Ramapo College and Shelley, because the two of us have been partners for 21 years, and it all started here.
Thank you very much, Roger. I now have the honor of introducing our commencement speaker, Mr. David Ross, the director of the Whitney Museum of American Art. David? We have a citation for David. David Anthony Ross, your entry into the world of art was as momentous a beginning as one can imagine. As a senior in college, you challenged the man who would become your mentor. You challenged his values, and he challenged yours. Since that time in Syracuse, after joining the new Everson Museum of Art, whose very existence you had questioned, you have had a distinguished career as curator, program director, and director of significant collections. For the past 7 years, you have been director of the Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City. In July, you will become the director of the newly expanded San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. During your tenure at the Whitney, you have overseen and directed an impressive program of renovation and expansion, parts of which include new galleries that for the first time provide space for the permanent collection you have enhanced. Under your leadership, the Whitney has embarked on numerous imaginative adventures. According to reports, you spearheaded the idea of making portions of the Whitney's permanent collection available to the San Jose Museum of Art, a collaboration that was the first of its kind. Under your leadership, the museum began collecting photography for the first time. In addition, you have developed the holdings of several key artists, including Leslie Nadelman, Agnes Martin, and Saul LeWitt. Under your leadership, the museum's exhibition and education programs have been thoroughly revamped, stressing not only a balance between historical and contemporary exhibitions, but mixing new methodological approaches to exhibition development and design, and a healthy balance between exhibitions with broad popular appeal with more scholarly and cutting-edge projects. David Ross, you have helped make a great institution even greater and have taken strides toward the building of a truly diverse board and staff. You have assembled and maintained a talented and productive working team which will provide continuing leadership to the Whitney. For these reasons and for your many accomplishments as curator, juror, and lecturer, the Board of Trustees of Ramapo College is pleased to present you this citation on this graduation day, where you will serve as commencement speaker Thursday, May 21st, 1998. Welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. President Scott, Chairman Dunn, Mr. and Mrs. Berry, George Siegel, my friend. It's a great honor and privilege to be here with you this morning to deliver the commencement address to the class of '98 of Ramapo College. I've titled my brief commencement address, Hey, okay, thank you very much, thank you. Not that brief. I asked somebody what I should talk about at Ramapo, and they said about 10 minutes. The title of my talk today is, How Can You Be in Two Places at Once When You're Actually Nowhere at All? Or an alternative title, We're All Bozos on This Bus. Some of you may be wondering about the title of this commencement address. It comes from a well-known recorded performance of the 1970s comedy troupe known as the Firesign Theater. Its premise, in the stoned, surrealist tone of the times, was the central notion of being nowhere. Not just merely finding oneself nowhere, but actively pursuing the idea of nowhere-ness. The sense that belonging anywhere was a pointless and easily avoidable waste of time and energy. This kind of thinking was symbolic of a broader social consciousness, the idea that staying in this consequence-free, stoned zone was justified as a kind of social vote of no confidence, a vote that we would just as soon not choose a future, but if we had to, we'd select none of the above. This made a lot of sense in the early 1970s, as the Vietnam War was still raging, as the battle for social justice seemed to be headed towards one dead end after another, as we mourned the death of JFK and Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King, and saw so many of our ideals falling about us, and wondered if there would ever be a way out, if there was any reason for us to move forward. But it also reflected a more meaningful condition of 20th century life in general. The problems caused by having a highly developed sense of history meshed seamlessly with an exaggerated sense of the future. Sort of leaves one in suspension. Not so much unwilling to commit to the consequence of decision-making as actually unable to locate the present and incapable of acting in real time. It's kind of a wonderful coincidence that today George Siegel, the great sculptor, will be receiving an honorary degree because his art helps us focus on moments in time and bring that kind of exquisite inspection of behavior and social consequence that great art should. But I raise the issue of time today because we celebrate a significant moment here in the passage of your lives and recognize the hard work and dedication it took to arrive together at this place, this celebration. Yet the unexamined assumptions that underlie all of this celebration, all of this highly appropriate ritual, the gowns, the hats, all of this stuff, is that you are now prepared for the future. Now, of course, I hope this is true. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, those of you who hold the loans on your college tuition payments, we all hope this is true. And we all join you today in this wish, and no doubt we'll be talking to you in the days, weeks, months, and years to come about the future. You have been urged along this path, sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully, for nearly all of your life. And now, here you are, ready for something. Ready for excitement, ready for danger, ready for the promise of riches and the pleasures of love. Well, plastics, said the unidentified middle-aged family friend at poolside to the young Dustin Hoffman as he emerged as the iconic graduate of Mike Nichols' powerful predictive film. And though job prospects must and should weigh heavily upon all of you today, especially that guy who got up in the front row, I'm not here today to provide you with employment advice. Sorry. In fact, I do imagine if Mike Nichols remade The Graduate today, the well-meaning partygoer would sidle over to The Graduate and whisper, "The internet." But as I said, I'm not here to add to your years of career counseling, nor am I here to add to your already sky-high levels of anxiety about the future. I'm a museum director. Specifically, I direct the Whitney an art museum completely devoted to American 20th century art. A museum that was founded by a woman in 1930 who, when told that American art was not worthy of a museum, wouldn't take no for an answer. a woman who should be a model for all of you, men and women alike, about the idea of not taking no for an answer. And like you, I'm in the midst of making some pretty radical changes in my life. As President Scott noted, I've recently decided to leave the Whitney Museum and move to San Francisco, where I will have the pleasure of directing that city's Museum of Modern Art, a museum devoted to exploring the culture of the modern era and trying to understand more fully the times in which we live today. So why am I raising these issues about the past, present, and the future? Simple. Because like you, I am urged by forces on all sides to be aware of the awesome power of the unbounded future. Because like you, I too am motivated to look deeply into space and imagine a set of decisions and consequences that have the power to inspire a kind of temporal vertigo. So instead of more speculative mumbo-jumbo, the contemporary equivalent of a traveler's benediction, I am here today to talk to you about living your life in the present. I do this because the present is really all we have. The past and future are fine to contemplate, but life has to be lived in what communications theorists call real time. Real-time lives, undistracted by instant replay and coming attractions, unmoved by nostalgia or future shock. Not the time of predictions or forecasting. I can't count the number of times I've been asked questions like, what's the art of the 21st century going to look like? Or, can you predict what artists today will be superstars tomorrow and whose art will be worth millions of dollars? Quite frankly, if I could, I'd be on the yacht in the Caribbean, sipping the orange juice made by the guy who I hired just to squeeze the orange juice. But quite seriously, I'm also besieged by people who remind me, often quite forcefully, that in their opinion, there is no good art being made today, not at least like the art of the good old days. Presumably this means from the times in which they lived their lives in real time, and things, even art, had meaning for them and held real consequence. Or the people who recall wistfully, with an air of nostalgia, when art museums didn't seem so confused by the mass of voices competing to be heard, the competition of media and attitudes, of ethnic attitudes and identities and histories, and simply recapitulated the story of heroic European culture told through a simplified history of art. Now that's nostalgia. Now let me speak for a moment about nostalgia. Nostalgia. First of all, it's a disease. It's not a warm bath or a comfortable Happy Days armchair. It springs etymologically from the longing for home experienced by sailors on long voyages at sea. Its roots are in the Greek word nostos, which means home, and algos, which means pain, and first appears in the literature of Homer. Indeed, there is something heroic about those who will willingly experience the discomfort of nostalgia for the sake of defending hearth and home. But abstracted from the context of travelers' loneliness and the pain of separation from loved ones, it has little to offer in our lives. Yet we indulge ourselves in a veritable symphony of nostalgia on a daily basis, in mass media, fashion, even in politics. We insist, as Marshall McLuhan once noted, on steering our cars in sole reliance on the rearview mirror. Back to the good old days when life was simpler. Plastics rather than the internet. It may seem a bit odd, a museum director talking trash about the past, but that's not my intention. Respecting the art of the past is critical to knowing who we are today, and regard for history is essential to civilization and the cornerstone of a civil society. And in fact, as we all know perfectly well, history even helps us invent a usable future for ourselves and our children. But art's history is a history of the mirror's reflection. Art's history should constitute a constantly evolving story of who we are, not who we could have been or who we should have been. And history, if properly respected and thoughtfully engaged, has nothing to do with nostalgia or the idea of living in the past. History is not what I resent, fear, and loathe. In a very significant way, that is the true responsibility of scholarship, to make sure that history is not malformed or misused. So it is not history alone that I resent or reject. What I resent is the excessive wallowing in kitsch, from the artificially seasoned past experienced as a truly virtual reality to the artificially experienced future experienced as something really to look forward to. The past as a way of refusing and refuting the present as an effective method for fooling ourselves into believing that radical change never really happened, that women can still be treated as objects, that the power to make things happen is still the sole responsibility of a small group of overempowered white men, that science and progress have always been linked in an inevitable march to the bottom line, that the status quo exists for your own good, whether or not you have developed the wisdom and the necessary degree of intelligence to agree with its oppressive hidden agenda and its pernicious precepts. An idea of history in which racism and pernicious nationalism were historically justifiable, and an idea of history in which the elimination of those things has seemed to be only a rhetorical victory, not a real one. That history we all have to reject. That nostalgia is seriously bad for us. One has to wonder in whose interest it is that a generation capable of sharing power and the authority to manage their own lives is fed a constant diet of the cultural imagery suggesting that the last 30 years of social change has been merely a bad dream. One has to wonder why the anxieties of the older generations, the anxieties that sprang from poverty and fascism to nuclear annihilation, must function as matrices for the construction of new social pathology. Finally, we should wonder how we are to be sustained by this nutritionally empty Happy Meal and this enforced diet of cultural fluff. Yet the force feeding of nostalgia is only half the problem. For at the same time we gratefully dwell in the house of an inconsequential past, we gleefully inhabit the macro-myopic world of a consequence-free future. This is an even more dangerous place. Listen to me. In macro-myopia, we cannot see the ground beneath our feet. In macro-myopia, we only see that faraway place way out over the horizon of the day-to-day. We can see clearly the snowy peaks of the distant mountain range, and this vision inspires us to trudge across the quotidian plains, but our eyes deceive us. The distances are too great to contemplate. Out in the wilderness, the dangers of miscalculating range from death by exhaustion to the privations of starvation are real. You can make that analogy for yourself. This vision fools us into the belief that someday soon we'll be in that glorious place, and that we need not worry about our current condition. Be strong and resolute. Keep your eyes on the prize, and you'll get to the mountain, or so the legend goes. But in reality, the present tense demands our attention and insists that we come to grips with the responsibilities of decision-making as we move inevitably forward. The trick is recognizing that we can only get to that prized goal by applying a continual awareness of the present, by doing what artists do when they seek to create objects that may have the power to endure the test of time and remain always in the present, by being radically and absolutely present. It's easy and it's even fun to imagine a Jetson-like world of the wired future. It's tempting to envision ourselves with careers in high-tech, highly paid future, where the social inequities of today have been magically eliminated by the miracles of the cybernetic era. Utopian life in the digital domain. Hello? Utopian life in the digital domain? Think we'll still be working for the same people. Yet we know that the new technologies have done little to date in eliminating the gaping distance between the haves and the have-nots in our society. If anything, the gap has been widened. The differences between the rich and the poor have been exacerbated. We're just not looking anymore. We know that the enormous potential of the internet, the fantastic promises of bioengineering, the still hard to believe future of deep space exploration make it hard to focus on today, on the next step you must take. But I'm not here to bring you down or to ground you. I'm here to tell you the truth. What do you need to do today? Or as our friends at Microsoft say, where do you want to go today? Where should you begin? What should you do? Should you begin a work of art? Should you plant a garden? Can you show some kindness to someone? What kind of decision can you make today that will improve the life of somebody you love? What act of forgiveness or sign of gratitude can you express today that will change the lives of someone you love? How can you make a real and measurable contribution to the family that nourished you and supported your education? The big question is simple. How can you today begin to give back to your community a measure of what has been lent to you? The contemporary philosopher Lewis Hyde, in his landmark book, The Gift, tells us that the essence of our humanity, the essential nature of our humanity, is embedded in the ability and innate willingness to give. So profound is the idea of giving that in Hyde's idea, it actually completes the idea of a work of art. Artwork cannot be complete without being given in some way to someone else. And it defines our purpose, not just as artists, but as human beings. Giving of yourself, giving back to your family, your community, the world at large, is really what you must begin at this very moment, in real time, not in the future. The vacation is over. Now don't worry, you know nothing too large is expected of you. But at the same time, nothing you can do that is too small will matter either. That's a good idea, patience. What does matter is that you start today, however, right now. And so to answer the question I raised in my opening, let me simply state that you need only be in one place at one time, and that's the place where your heart keeps time. And so, congratulations to the class of '98. Thank you for the energy you've shared with me this morning, for the respect you have shown me and others here, and finally, good luck to each and every one of you, and God bless.
As a memento of your graduation speech and time at Ramapo College, David, we have a special gift, which is of our arch, our symbol.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Would Mr. Dunn please come forward? I now have the honor of introducing Mrs. Angelica Berry, Director of Paper Goods at Russ Berry and Company. Angelica? Angelica Berry, mabuhay. We are honored to call you friend and advisor. An entrepreneur, you started your own company in 1985, specializing in novelty paper products. Now you are Director of Paper Goods for Russ Berry and Company, having sold your company to the corporation. Your business career included advertising and public relations as well as manufacturing. In your home country, you established a talent agency and were a founding member and director of the Advertisers Suppliers Association of the Philippines. In addition to your entrepreneurial activities, you are known as a leader in the community. You are a founding member of the board of the Northern New Jersey's Gilda's Club, a cancer support group, and a member of the board of the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, the Ramapo College Board of Governors, the Englewood Healthcare System, and the National Guild of Community Schools. Because of your commitment to children, healthcare, and the arts, because of your accomplishments in many spheres of activity, because of the example you set for others in the community and your commitment to Ramapo College, the Board of Trustees of Ramapo College of New Jersey is pleased to award you this honorary Doctor of Letters degree on this graduation day, May 21st, 1998. Angelica, congratulations.
In the name of the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon Angelica Berry the honorary degree of Doctor of Letters, with all the rights, honors, and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Thank you. I've enjoyed being part of the Ramapo family as a member of the Board of Governors, but I think it's more fun to belong to this year's class of '98. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, Angelica Berry. I now have the honor of introducing Mr. Russ Berry, founder, chairman, and CEO of Russ Berry and Company. Russ Berry, you exemplify the American dream. Born into modest circumstances, you nevertheless received the support of family and friends and developed an entrepreneurial spirit at an early age. We love to hear how, as a child, you cleaned and recycled scorecards that were discarded outside Yankee Stadium for resale the next day. The story of how you started your company and how you built it into a New York Stock Exchange corporation is now a familiar tale. What is not so familiar is the fact that when you started your company in a converted garage in Palisades Park, you acted as your own buyer, designer, salesman, shipping clerk, bookkeeper, and jack of all trades. Many also don't know about the periods of near failure, when mistakes also almost became fatal blunders, except for your abilities and capacities to understand circumstance, interpret information, analyze situations, and make decisions. Most of all, though, you recognize that your chief talent lies in sales. In fact, through your efforts, many people can now say with pride that they are in sales, a profession equal to others. Also true to the American dream, you have used your talents and resources to assist others. The list of your philanthropic interests is legion. In February of this year, you were named as one of the 40 most generous Americans. Your contributions to Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons to support diabetes, your establishment of the Center for Interreligious Understanding at Ramapo College, and your work on behalf of the Jewish Home and Rehabilitation Center have won you many awards. Close to home, we are proud of our partnerships with you in the Center for Interreligious Understanding, the Center for Performing and Visual Arts, your service as a visiting clinical professor of business, the Russ Berry Prize for Making a Difference, which is administered by the college, and service on the Ramapo College President's Advisory Council. For these numerous accomplishments in business and charity, the Ramapo College Board of Trustees is pleased to bestow upon you this graduation day the Honorary Doctor of Business degree. Russ, your diploma.
In the name of the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon Mr. Russ Berry the honorary degree of Doctor of Business, with all the rights, honors, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations. Turn around, if you will. Okay.
Tom, Dr. Scott, thank you very much. This is a special honor. I'm still trying to find out what special privileges, however, that this and this cape gives me. But I look out at all of you here today, starting off into your new venture in life, and I heard what David said about the have-nots and the haves. Well, if there are any have-nots out there, Look at me. I grew up in the Bronx as a have-not. Look at my wife. She grew up in the Philippines as a have-not. The short words I want to say to you is, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a have. In fact, you're going to have more fun really climbing to the top and getting to the top as a have-not, and you each have that ability to do it, and as long as you believe in yourself and you have the right attitude to get there, you'll do it. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you.
And now I have the honor of introducing Mr. George Siegel, sculptor. George Siegel, in a world filled with words, you bring clarity of thought to everyday life through plaster, bronze, and artifacts. While most of us search for phrases merely adequate to describe the human condition, you reveal the essence of life through works such as Appalachian Farm Couple, 1936, Depression Breadline, and Fireside Chat, each now part of the permanent FDR Memorial in Washington. You have honored our nation through your creativity, even as our nation has honored you. Your works were selected to convey the spirit of the time and evoke the talents of the president whom you described as the wealthy patrician who is able to speak beautifully and accurately about flat, broke immigrants. The throngs that assemble daily at the memorial are testimony to your abilities to capture his spirit. The retrospective of your work at the Smithsonian's Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden is the first large survey of your work in 20 years, and critics report it is the best. In the words of one reviewer, the show provides what is probably as fine an introduction as there will ever be to Siegel's second-generation abstract expressionist canvases of the 1950s, the ravishing pastels with Matisse-like aspects from the 1960s, the more recent Grizel still-life paintings, and the new, astonishingly candid, large charcoal and pastel portraits of Siegel's colleagues and relatives. On nearly every continent, one finds the work of George Siegel. Your public sculptures freeze real moments in time, from the butcher shop to lonely figures in a diner and commuters on a train. More than 100 art museums own your tableau. Your name is in textbooks along with Liechtenstein and Warhol. The government of Japan awarded you the Premium Imperial, that nation's biggest art prize. Yet you are humble, plain, and a friendly person, eager to assist others and inspire imaginations. 40 years ago, you gave up chicken farming and turned to art full-time. Through it, your sympathy for others shows in the plaster and bronze-impregnated bandages in which you wrap your friends to create new images of universal themes. George Siegel, in recognition of your contributions to humanity through the arts, the Board of Trustees of Ramapo College is pleased to bestow upon you this honorary Doctor of Arts degree on this graduation day. Thank you.
In the name of the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon Mr. George Siegel the honorary degree of Doctor of Arts with all of the rights, honors, and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Thank you, gentlemen. I have to congratulate this group of glowing students. I also think that all of you should thank your president, Mr. Scott, because of his deep conviction that art is essential to a lot of people's lives. One fast sentence. My father didn't want me to become an artist. He said, "You'll never make a living, and people always have to eat." The crowning irony of my life, I believed him. The crowning irony of my life happened when I started going bankrupt on my chicken farm that supported me, my wife, and 2 children, and I started selling my art. I think all of us should have the nerve to insist on a mental life in addition to physical survival. Thank you.
Congratulations, George Siegel. We will now hear from Mr. Jeffrey Meyer, class of 1998 and president of the Student Government Association. Jeff?
Welcome, family, friends, magnificent faculty, distinguished guests, staff, administrators, and most importantly, I welcome you, the class of 1998. I feel honored to speak here today before you. Today is the day we have all been working toward, the day that we have been envisioning, the day that represents all of our hard work and dedication. During our time at Ramapo, we have been taught that the question is as equally important as the answer. So today I stand here and ask you, what's next? For many of you, next will mean pursuing a career in the job market, while for others it will mean going on and out to graduate and professional school. For those of you who will be testing the waters of the workforce, I say to you, do not go gentle into that marketplace. No, do not go gentle. Go kicking and screaming until you get to that place where you want to be. Stand strong in your resolve. Be aggressive, assertive, and ambitious. And when you get that job, that career opportunity, that promotion, and they say to you, "And where did you come from?" You tell them a place called Ramapo. A place where I learned critical thinking skills and became aware of value questions. A place where I had the opportunity to participate in an internship, engage in community service, and take advantage of a variety of study abroad programs. A place where I learned the value of diversity and what it has to offer me. A place where I was encouraged to adopt a cause and become an advocate. A place where I was allowed to explore academic freedom. A place where I was allowed to absorb and apply knowledge. A place where I was given the choice to join a fraternity or a sorority. A place where I was able to participate in an intramural or intercollegiate sport. And finally, a place where I was allowed to grow and develop as an individual. The Ramapo College graduating class of 1998 is not just about symbolism. We are about substance, values, vision, and the future. We are leaders, dreamers, and activists. Someday, we will be the leaders of this state, this nation, and this world. And someday, our vision and influence will encompass the globe. For many of this would not all be possible if it weren't for the help of our family. I want to thank my family. My mother, who gave me life and love. My aunt and uncle, who gave me unconditional support and advice. My grandfather, who taught me the value of humility and patience. And I would also like to thank my girlfriend, who I love very dearly. Thank you, Alicia. To my friends and my fraternity, thank you. And especially thank you to the members of the Alpha Nu class. Finally, to you, the graduates, I would like to remind you that you're just not a Ramapo graduate today, tomorrow, or the next day. You're a Ramapo graduate for life. I'd like to leave you with this quote from the great political thinker, Alexis de Tocqueville. They all, therefore, become powerless if they do not learn voluntarily to help one another. Become active members of your community, volunteer your time, and help others realize, too, that they can become part of the American dream. Thank you, good luck, and don't ever forget a place called Ramapo.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We will now hear from Mr. Mark Linsky, the representative of this class of 1998. Mark.
Said it would just teach mics. Thanks to everyone for coming out today. It's a great honor for me to speak in front of everyone. It's kind of strange, a working class kid from North Bergen getting the opportunity to do this in the affluent parts of Bergen County here. Family and friends who are here, as well as those who couldn't attend, you made this arduous task of getting through college a great deal easier, and none of us here could have done it without your support. We really appreciate that. I'd also like to thank the faculty, staff, librarians, administrators, and special guests, because they've made this, this journey very enjoyable and fruitful. It's nice to share this moment with all of them without quizzes, tests, research papers, and all that hanging over our heads. Again, thanks everyone for being here. As the graduates leave here today, we enter into a new, exciting, and sometimes very frightening world, but we can handle it a lot better because we came to Ramapo College. At Ramapo, we learned how to communicate with the outside world. We were constantly engaged in discussion in our classrooms. It made it really good because at Ramapo, as the students know, but I don't know how, if everyone else knows this, the student-to-teacher ratio is amazingly low. I mean, a lot of classes I know I was in is like maybe 10 students and stuff like that. You couldn't hide in class. You had to communicate. Some students might have thought ideologically on different ends of the spectrum as some of their teachers, which I encountered a couple of times in business classes. But it didn't matter. All ideas and comments and questions at different shades always filled the classrooms. And throughout the course of a semester, you could see the confidence of each student growing and not afraid to speak up. At Ramapo College, very importantly, we learned how to think. One of the better pedagogical tools is having students feel like they come up with the answer on their own. It leads to a great sense of accomplishment. The best example I can give it out is I remember being in Dr. Arianis' classes. And it'd be a lot of times he'd beg a question of the class, and we knew the answers. We were well prepared to answer the question, but because the pressure was on, we just couldn't do it. And he would slowly draw it out of us. He knew, what buttons to push with us so we can come up with the answer on our own. It was a great sense of accomplishment when that happened. It wasn't just, he just told us what to do. And we can take that knowledge into the future as far as any problem-solving skills. And besides that, I'll never forget anything about Marbury versus Madison. So, At Ramapo College, the thing that's always impressed me the most is the faculty here. The way I said it a couple years ago to my supervisor when I worked with the AFT was if the faculty of this college, went to an abandoned farmhouse or something like that and taught there without all the great things that Ramapo itself physically has to offer, that's where I would have wanted to get my education. The students, we were lucky. A lot of people I've talked to, they're lucky if they have one teacher in their life who made a difference. I know I can speak for myself and a lot of the other students who are graduating here today that, I have probably half a dozen and all that have made a significant difference in my life. There was never a time when their office doors were closed. Anything you wanted to talk about, it could be school related, it could be personal, it could be about the Knick game. They're always there to listen to you and talk to you. And the faculty here not only do this, but I mean, they're community leaders and they have families and stuff like that, but they always treated us as individuals, and that's something I can't tell you how much I appreciate. I hope the importance of the faculty is kept in mind by the state when the next contract negotiations come up next year. I'm not going to get overly political here, but it would be good if Governor Whitman can realize the importance of the faculty and she can resume state funding so Ramapo can continue the excellent education that they can get here. Just hopefully everyone will keep that in mind, and all you students who are out, all us graduates, stay on our representatives and state senators and stuff like that. It's very important. The education we got here is great, and I hope the people who come after us can continue to be that lucky. It's kind of tough for the working class struggle here with Governor Whitman as our governor, but we'll get through it as best we can. Honestly, I wouldn't trade my undergraduate degree at Ramapo for anything. When I first came here a while ago, I was offered free rides to a lot of more prestigious schools, Dartmouth, Georgetown, things like that. My original intent was to come to Ramapo for a year. It was close to home, and then I transfer or whatever. After being here for a year and seeing how great the faculty is and what the administration provides for us, I knew that my best decision was to stay here. The way I've told people is if they put Princeton at equal distance from my house as Ramapo is, and it was the same tuition and stuff like that, I would no way give this education up. The people at Ramapo are exceptional, and again, I can't thank them enough. In closing, I'd like to point out that the graduates here are going to leave today, and we're going to go into a variety of fields. Hopefully, today's influence people will go into the arts and stuff like that, which is very important. Some of you are going to be social workers. I know a couple of us are leaning towards union reps here and stuff like that. And a lot of us are going to go on to further our education. Personally, for me, I'd like to get my doctorate and come back here and teach. Because if I can do for students what Dr. Arianis, Phil McLuhan, Jennifer Mazza, David Green, Peter Scheckner, Bazad Yagmayan, what they've done for me, then I'll be a very, very happy and successful person. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Mark. I now call upon Vice President Rubin to present the candidates for degrees and invite Chairman Dunn forward to participate.
Will the candidate for the master's degree please rise and remain standing? Will all candidates from the School of Contemporary Arts please rise and remain standing? Will all candidates from the School of Social Science and Human Services please rise and remain standing? Will all the candidates from the School of Theoretical and Applied Science rise and remain standing? Will all the candidates from the School of Administration and Business please rise and remain standing? Will all the candidates from the School of American and International Studies please rise and remain standing? Chair Dunn, I have the honor of presenting to you these candidates for the Master of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Social Work, and Bachelor of Nursing degrees. They have completed the requirements prescribed by the college for the baccalaureate or master's degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Ramapo College of New Jersey, and in recognition of your attainments in completing the programs prescribed by the college, I confer upon each of you the baccalaureate or master's degree with all the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Good luck. You may turn your tassels.
You may be seated, and I now ask each dean in turn to invite our graduates to come forward. We urge that guests remain seated so that all may have an unrestricted view of these proceedings. We have arranged with a photographer to take a photograph of each graduate receiving a diploma. I also ask that you hold your applause until each of the school's graduates has been presented, although I know you won't. I would like to introduce our reader, Donald Fusey, Dean of the Division of Basic Studies. Sydney Weinberg, Director of the Master's Program, please come forward.
For photographic reasons, please remember to face the audience as you greet President Scott. William E. Kirkendall. Norma Clow. Catherine M. Talbert. Rosemary D'Alessandro. Florence Damiano Muller. Betsy Ann Panico.
Will Shalom Gorowitz, Dean of the School of Contemporary Arts, please come forward.
Sean Broderick. Jeffrey Dunn. Ronald Strout. Joseph DeSanctis. Keisha Siobhan Green. Margaret Whiteside. David Daughtley. Jessica Lynn Kalinsky. Deetra Tyler. Lysandra Gutierrez. Jennifer Smith. Dana Autozone. Richard John Alley. Brett Josephs. Matthew Greco. William Walsh. Joseph Vincent. Carolyn Sheridan. Michelle Angelucci. Richard Du Bois. Glenn Colucci. Sherry Casper. Mark Weicker. Kriaga Christodoulou. Elena Ayala. Robin Keller. Michelle Mullen. Courtney Muscarelli. Joshua Hall. Matthew Jacobs. Cece Bouchard. Benjamin Akuri. Paul Belger. Kishara Wilson. Billy Papadopoulos. William Hemmers. Stephen Devaris. Jessica Irwood. Carrie DeVito. Amy Nola. Tara Panza. Maureen Harrison. Scott Lefferson. Alexander Montgomery. William Hatton. William Hirenzo. Robin Brannick. Allison Mitnitsky. Nicole Majeski. Gina DeMeglio. Diana Sackett. Justin Kopowich. Carol Benjamin. John Irwin. Brian Corvino. Gary Fenjarian. Peter Holmgren. Zacharias Ziegler. Jose Hernandez. Jean Brazil. Nancy Wallace. Kelly Mitchell. Lakeisha Smith. Pamela Sue Blumenson. Melissa Leon. David Pepe. Eric Arikian. Tamara Holland. Sean Burke. David Francis. Matthew Adabet. David Kessler. Robert Della Greco. Erica Nicholas. Michael Conoval. Nicole Iskowitz. Stacy Lynn Tapa. Herbie Jean Charles. Sunil Sundaraj. Carol Mbambo. Kim Langowski. Victor Velasquez. Jordan Donahue.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Contemporary Arts, our congratulations to this wonderful class and best wishes for the future.
Robert Becklin, Dean of the School of Social Science and Human Services, please come forward.
Christine Komorowski. Bridget Betts. Dawn McPaudland. Pico Selbach. Irene Lewis. Constance Strabegan. Mark Pearson. Mark Schenkel. Joanne Mannion. Natasha Odessa Noble. Sarah Jean Savia. Kendra K. Lynch. Evelyn Then. Joanna Sosa. Eric Aline. Susan Halpert, cum laude. Alan Sidner. Julianne Kanapka. Da su nombre Madrid Galdiano. Sherry Danielle Sanders, cum laude. Dana Marie Cesar. Gary Montulis. Janine Pensabene. Ashley Marie Music. Jessica Marie Uchik. Stephanie Ann Ganari. Kim Adabavek. April Butterworth. Teresa Coder, cum laude. Karen Teresa Rangel. Janice Leach. Valerie Soteropoulos. Llewellyn Regal. Robert John Stelzley. Jennifer Megan Anzalone. Robert William Curtis. Ryan Wallace. Robert Kaufman. Brian Feeney. Molly Kramer. Carolyn Jamie. Kenneth Andrew Lua. Annette Sesvadi. Lisa Strano, cum laude. Teresa Sedlock. Michael Wood. Meredith Eileen Sansone. Jennifer Michelle Mallett, cum laude. Svetlana Nikolowska. Christina Bijak. Janet Cheong. James Edward Van Duzer. Christopher Paco Martin. Chadwick Eugene McCauley III. Laura Alfieri. Juliette Marie Preba. Lorianne Urban. Giselle Enriquez. Tara Mae James. Lakeisha Griffin. Monty Gitkin. Shannon Lee Mead. Alicia Roseanne Spurg. Kenneth Eastman. Stephen Welbert. Pamela Lorraine Pittman. Amy Beth Moody. Cheryl R. O'Gara. Sheila Giles Gaynor. Kristen A. Churcher. Carl Anthony Stuno. Jennifer E. Golden. Lisa A. Ippolito. Paula Ann Montalbano. Jennifer Lynn Holland, magna cum laude. Michelle Frances Firebrand, cum laude. Dana Ray LaSalvia. Patricia Sweeney Hemphill. Karen Agan. Patricia Ann Lee. Samara Phoebe. Deidre Kawash. Deborah Cadena, cum laude. Maureen Scanlon, cum laude. Allison Joan Marie Bonavia. Deborah B. O'Connell. Francis Brooks, cum laude. Randy Horowitz. Roseanne Chait. Michael Hoppy. Michael Cameron Thacker. John Golden. Daniel Carlberg. Kevin Patrick Tully. Christine Teresa Lonergan. Kimberly Lerman. Kristen J.E. Hamilton. Meredith Kiani. Robin Deutsch. Dawn Tara Bolter. Patrick Paul Alfano. Scott Lustig, magna cum laude. Joanne Egan. Carol Elena Manjadas. Sherry Lynn Borowski. Anthony C. Borneo. Eves Martin St. Cyr II. Natasha Wallace. Joanne Nardone. Susan Alicia Schaefer, summa cum laude. Heather A. Tustin, summa cum laude. Catherine Capuana, cum laude. Dina Blonda. Jean Blevins. Carol Ann Hook. Susan Donovan. Lisa Capizzi, cum laude. Gilbert Bordeaux. Pat Ventavenia. Terry Lee McKim. Rosemary R. McCourt, cum laude. John Anthony Monahan, cum laude. Kimberly Janelli. Donna Ruth Corey, cum laude. Regina Shaw. Brenda Jimenez Velez.
Graduates, there are some moments in life which make a memory. I'd like you to take a moment just to look at your neighbor and think for 1 second about the accomplishment in your personal lives that this day represents, and the accomplishment for our democracy, which rests in such an important way on education. Voila, we just made a memory. Congratulations, everyone.
Elaine Winchell, Dean of the School of Theoretical and Applied Science, please come forward.
Nadav Malka. Elizabeth McGinnis. Marjana Sakinda. Odette Diaz. Michelle Ellen Shula. Tara Shah. Joan Parek. Mary Helen Clark. Todd Bouvereau. Chris Lazar. Mona Chaitan Naik, magna cum laude. Alec S. Almond, cum laude. Kenneth Andrew Blum. Troy Allen Marshall. Craig David Cohen. Michelle Pamela Moscone. Wendy Lynn Stye. Francois Dubisson. Mark Brenska. Jeremy Cucini. Michelle Ellen Finn. Bruce Mavis. Danila Sandler. Jason Christopher Fitz, cum laude. Rabina Ali. Velko Popov, cum laude. Richard Francis Kilcoyne. Julie Sellis. Linda Rath Bradstrom, cum laude. Penny Zuckerman. Helen Amonte. Darlene Haupt. Mark Martino. Christopher Mulcahy. Stephen Vincegara. Heather Lemasters. Christopher John Gelner. Bernard Jens. Philip Jason Bartolotto. Cameron Suarez. Mark Katovi. Brad Asalta. Carrie Ann Walsh. Anne-Marie Perna. Jason Martin. Jeffrey Charles Frederick. Joshua James Langretta. Simone Healy, magna cum laude. Janelle Elizabeth Bodnar. Kelvin Yao. Alexandra Floratos. Mary Ann Cudden. Patricia Rose Apresco. Nishette Fiona Charles. Jennifer L. Camper. Elizabeth Ann Markley. Randy Jill Broads. Jody Danielle Reddick. Kim Lewis. Ravit Bodana. Nikki Stamathalatos. Terry Joy Bowley. Ronaldo Montenegro, Jr. Jacqueline Joelle Fremont, cum laude. Jamie Caparucio. Derek Oliver. Michael Grohl. Jennifer Marie Mayer. Theodora Lenatus III. Deidre Bridget Minahan, cum laude. Patricia Ann Minahan. Richard Lynch. Keith Hayden. Mohammed Siddiqui. Taha Alamne. William Hendrickson. John Alex. Scott Edwards. Ralph Ebler. Michael J. Horn. Arshad Hussain. Marcelo Halpern. Natala Zorova. John Katigas. Timothy Brian Babasati. Sharam Aroni. Luis Enrique Botrego. Sama Blibo. Kelly Ann Adams. Brian Zemlanicki. Heather Scothorpe. Lisa Joy Novak. Jenny Tu. Marion Jablonski. Eileen Victoria Rivera. Monica Erico. Danielle Marie Junta. Judith P. Finellis. Robert Intrigue Theogen. Kathleen St. Ledger. Barbara McCarthy. Gwen Ryan. Hui Chen. Kyung Choi. Deborah Borkolzer, cum laude. Elaine Fernandez. John Mankey. Diane Rita Pickenich. Basilia Abdul Glee. Catherine Grigsby Botts. Lana Brandt. Diane Patricia London. Mary Dinos. Thea Teresa Legrand. Colin Elaine Earl. Leanne Hartong. Marianne Lasowitz. Deborah Donato. Mary Alice Kubler. Susan Eleanor D'Amelio. Linda Alice Eastman, cum laude. Diane Stanley. Leslie Jane Berger. Lenora Gonzalez. Jennifer Margaret Flynn. Christine Ndunge O'Hare. Yi Lang Ong. Susan Hutchinson Sonoski.
On behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Theoretical and Applied Science, I congratulate all of our graduates. Thank you. Frederick Champlin, Dean of the School of Administration and Business, please come forward.
Tina Louise Moya, summa cum laude. Norma Iris Vargas. Paul Webb III. Jamal Swift. Edward Stracker. Teresa Napolitano. Roberta Marie Riveros Melnick. Christine Wachowski. Tracy Lynn Hinchman, cum laude. Frederick Onborn. Eliana Lenina, cum laude. Peter Fry. David Sipin, cum laude. Marcus Carlberg. Anne Christine Danielson. Edine Ajik, magna cum laude. Kristan Matthews. Brian Stiros. Joseph Staubel. Jody Ann Marie Lanza. Josephine Inturisi. Celeste Williams. Jennifer Lynn DeMoore. Kenneth Mallon. Paul Durante. Matthew Rubinacher. Adam Jason Sansolo. Matthew Showman. Bridget Sellersnow. Elizabetta Tamidas, summa cum laude. Kimberly Michelle Gilchrist. Regis Mahoney. Harshad Patel. Daryl Lopa Johnson. Jennifer Bracco. Laura Zimmerman. Christine Aguilera. Baruch Adler. Gail Nebbia. Gloria Brignoni. Charles Vigatti. Paul R. Vaccaro. Catherine E. Can. Michael Potenza. Darlene Casso. Cheryl Lynn Bucko. Jolie Marisa Kaminsky. Veronica Lynn Wisniewski. Mohamed Sadikov. Anis Rangres. Michael J. Saracusa. Christina Bancuti. Keith Hamilton, summa cum laude. Mark Elliott Domzalski. Christine Yaldi. Kelly Hallquist. Maureen Oates, cum laude. Julie Hall, summa cum laude. Rebecca Maynard. Andrew Grieco. William Weisgarber Jr. Harry Coquinos. Edward David Totten. Seth Healy. Celeste M. Ray. Stephen David Meir. Corinne G. Casella. John Paul Gazzola. Michael Lance Kessler. Stephanie Gizondi, cum laude. Andrew Craig Kamanali. Igor Pushanak, summa cum laude. Percy De La Cruz. Martin J. Osterhout, magna cum laude. John Nomchek. Marlene Spitler. Suja Isaac. Christine Weiss. Darlene Quackenbush. Paul Samansky. June Liu. Lauren Affelt. Helen Schoenknecht, magna cum laude. Marianne Honette. Madeline Francis Green. Patricia O'Connor Black. Lorraine Pittet. Aiden Michael Hand. Alina Lasota Kaloje. Ahmed Abbasi. Aiden Jones. Judith Farnham Conklin. Danielle Susich. Rosa Afuso. Kathleen Mary Donnelly. Stacy Rachel Fisher. Christine Schiller. Marianne Picnic. Mary T. Burns. Francesca Corey Denton. Samuel Edward Franks. Louis Bernard Lacuta. Alice Lynn Cutler. Cassidy J. Hartilius. Mark Osowski. Liza Zillo. Christopher Annunziato. Christy Danielle Cohen. Dean Gilbert. Dennis Ariwa. Anthony Najur. Rose Roa Akula. Natalie Page. Dale Patricia Matthews. Nancy McConville, cum laude. Margaret Porsche, cum laude. Eleanor Diane DeBow, cum laude. Madeline Finley, cum laude. Sandra K. Hoff, summa cum laude. David Michael Norwood. Paul Lawrence Pelham. Adam Drury. Edward Knox. Greg Anthony De Palma. Jeffrey Michael Uva. Roger Musa. Robert Wojciech Sek. Yesenia Neblas. Joseph Paul Voltaire. Jason Bernstein. Risha Rupchand. Kevin Neritich. Marty Greer, cum laude. Michelle Mazzo. Elise Haverland. Jennifer Ann Kunzler. Sammy Stepanov. Vidadrex Hoppy. Okan Chang. Mohammed Mahmood. Vipul Chip. Wajid Kamal. Mohammed Kashif. Thomas John McCloskey. Anil Celeste. Marilyn Vanderplatt, cum laude. Angel Colazzo. Richard Chesney. Jacqueline Oliva. Regina Consilla. Teresa Costa. Laura Janine Castell. Nora Morrissey Giorgio. Madeline Mega. Zenwa Zhang. James John Fenerty. Ethan Jacob Zamonsky. Melissa Hyenhelm. Giuseppe Castellano. Laura Potter. Lisa Potter. Karen Krista Wall.
On behalf of the faculty and the staff of the School of Administration and Business, I want to wish everybody congratulations, best wishes for the future, and keep in touch.
Carol Hovanek, Dean of the School of American and International Studies, please come forward.
Jeffrey Maya. Mark Linsky. Janine Gabailo, cum laude. Adam Grobstein. Ian Michael Kelly. Jerry Martin, summa cum laude. Janet Gamble, summa cum laude. Fausta G. Weir. Melody Lynn Mutafaf. Michelle Colette White, magna cum laude. Andrew Neshi. Asha Hillman. Richard Asello. Renee Bilad, summa cum laude. Anita Casada. Gail Christensen, cum laude. Laura Marie Loria. Ramin Rabizadeh. Patricia Constandi. Diana Luban. Sandra Pereira. Nicole Marie Kimball. Jacqueline Claire Salviano. Catherine Ann Roche. Michael Caprio. Dawn Savarisi. Bren Record. Sean Coughlin. Ann Devaris. Rachel Tucker, summa cum laude. Felicia Lupo. Giovanna Washington. Nathalie Waite. David Scott Walensky. Asud Bolka. Michael Vogt. Brad Philip Portion. Ilyana Batanoska. Rhonda Jean Linford. Great Slowbud. Richard Breedlove. Jason James Seals. Scott David Dobish. Richard Michael Lawalbo. Kenneth Powell. Michael Hedersheimer. Craig Stephen Price. Stacy Lynn Smith. Kathleen Ann Marie Day. Susan Aldering, magna cum laude. Robert Sisterson. Catherine Pfister. Danielle Incognito. Brian Patrick Egan. Christine Marie Cohen, cum laude. Jennifer Lynn Kelly. Mira Raymond. Oliva Whiteninger. Diane Falcone. Dennis Ferrara. Matthew Zimmerman. Tanya Fisher. Jessica Bonner. Joshua Emont. Michael Garcia. Stuart Lutz. Mary McDonald. Tony Ann Walsh. Lorianne Bestante. Edward Gow. Brian Ogden. Brian Howe. The Ramapo Roadrunner.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations. During our years at Ramapo College, the class of 1988 learned so much. In order to show our appreciation for all that we've gained, the senior committee agreed to give something back to Ramapo. We are making a $1,600 gift to the Capital Campaign for the Angelica and Rusbury Center for Performing and Visual Arts. We choose this project because we feel it will have the greatest impact for all members of the Ramapo College community. It will also assist the college in meeting the prestigious Kresge Challenge grant. The funds will be used to help create a beautiful landscape setting area in the courtyard of the Berry Center.
In addition, the class of 1998 purchased a new uniform for the Ramapo College mascot, the Roadrunner. Fans will be able to see the Roadrunner at many future athletic events. The class of 1998 hopes that future graduating classes will continue the tradition of giving back to Ramapo College. Thank you and congratulations.
I just wanted to say that American International Studies was last, but we're best. You notice that we had both of these commencement speakers. But thank you to everyone. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the class of 1998! The privilege of introducing Mr. Daniel Furphy, a representative of the Alumni Association, who will greet you as alumni. Dan?
It is with great pleasure and pride that I now officially induct each of you, members of the class of 1998, into the Ramapo College Alumni Association. On behalf of more than 14,000 graduates of this outstanding and prestigious college, the Alumni Association Board of Directors, and the alumni staff, I wish you happiness and success in all of your future endeavors. Let me encourage you to maintain your relationship with Ramapo College through the Alumni Association, and to always remember the Alumni Association exists for the mutual benefit of helping the college as well as its graduates, and that includes you today. At this time, I'd like all graduates to stand. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors, I am pleased to induct you into the membership in the Ramapo College Alumni Association with all the rights and privileges thereof. Alumni are perpetually linked to Ramapo College. You now join those who have gone before you and called Ramapo alma mater. Congratulations and best wishes to all.
Thanks, Dan. Please remain standing, and I'd like now to introduce Stacy Topper, class of 1988, who will sing the alma mater. Words for the alma mater can be found on the inside cover of the commencement program. Stacy, I think we just...
We sing to you, Ramapo.
be seated. Thank you. I'd like to give a special thanks to the staff in Academic Affairs, the Registrar's Office, and the President's Office, and the Public Relations Office, and Institutional Advancement, and all those who've worked so hard to prepare for today's logistical events and who've made it run so smoothly. Let's give a big round of applause. Our alma mater refers to a mind that's free and our obligation to celebrate humanity. And I referenced earlier that George Siegel's sculptures are at the FDR Memorial. And there's a very special quote from Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which is appropriate for this occasion. The arts cannot thrive except where people are free to be themselves. I charge you to use your Ramapo education not only to be free yourselves, but to work for freedom for all others. Congratulations. Would members of the audience please remain seated until the end of the academic procession, and then graduates and their guests are invited to follow us and attend the President's reception in the Mansion Grove area by the Arch. Thank you. Please wait for the processional. And congratulations again. Thank you.